Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's all about the security situation. Nigeria versus bandits. Yes, that is what we want to take a look at, because over the week, over the month, it's like banditry seems to be topping the headlines. Yes, the military, they're fighting Boko Haram. All of a sudden, or gradually, you get to hear about herders farmers clash related into kidnappings, banditry, and it's like the story of Nigeria is no longer the same when you talk about security of lives and property. People have been talking so much about this. How can we get out of it? It's gotten so worse to the extent that schools are beginning to shut down in the north. It's gotten so worse that there's a threat, according to a report from the north, saying no more food supply to the southwest, or will I say the south. And of course the south side is saying if that's the case, we'll block the oil supply. These are just comments emanating from various places, and the question now is, how did we get here? You get to hear of the highways not being safe. You get to hear about massive abduction of persons traveling in buses. And of course, sometimes the victims are killed, even when the family members of such victims pay the ransom demanded by these bandits. According to a report, close to 2,000 persons, if not more, have been abducted. And the amount of money exchanged for the release of such persons, according to calculations by some print media, it has gotten close to 10 billion, if not more. 10 billion naira. This money, who are those in charge? What is the aim and objective of this bandit, so to speak, invading our country, invading our peaceful coexistence? What are their aims? With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a security expert. Join me to welcome Sheriff Azeke. Sheriff, welcome to TMI Monday's edition.
Thank you, and good morning, viewers.
It's like things, according to reports, are not really too well when you talk about security challenges, and some persons are saying it is getting from bad to worse. As a security expert, what do you feel about this development?
Well, when the present government, when they came into power, they promised to take care of three things. They promised to take care of three things, and one of them is to put the economy together, fight corruption, and take care of security matters. But I think the main thing is the security aspect of it, because when there is no security, there's no way you can talk about establishment. There's no way you can even fight corruption if the place is not settled. What we are going through right now is a terrible time for this country, as long as insecurity is concerned. Every aspect of thing now is being affected by insecurity, whether the spiritual aspect, whether the physical, the economical, the social, every aspect of governance is being affected by insecurity. And when you watch our news today, 90% of what you're listening in the news is insecurity, insecurity, insecurity. And the issue is that what is the projection? What are we giving to the international community? We are talking about they should come to invest in Nigeria. And every day we see killings, we see insecurity all over, from the east, west, north, south of Nigeria. It's like what I used to say. This issue has gone beyond the strength of government.
Gone beyond the strength of
government.
government.
Gone beyond the strength of government. And when something goes beyond you, you call for help. The government should begin to call for help. If it has to do with calling for international help, they should be humble enough to do that.
All right, you talked about call for help. If it means calling for international help, we should be humble enough to do that. But what about the aspect of negotiation?
I think, first of all, insecurity has to do with three agencies or agents: the God factor, the government factor, and the citizens factor.
God factor, government factor, citizens factor. Could you please expatiate on this?
Because whatever you are doing when it comes to insecurity, you are fighting insecurity, you must involve God. God is very, very important. You can't do without that. God must be involved. The scripture says, except the Lord keep the city, the watchmen watch in vain. By strength shall no man prevail. If we involve God, definitely God will always do his part. The government has a role to play when it comes to insecurity. And we, the citizens, will also have a role to play when it comes to insecurity. It's a combination of these three entities. So if God is involved, the government do their part, and we as citizens do our part, I think to an extent we can address insecurity squarely.
All right, now if you take a look at the recent trend, you get to hear schools being attacked, school boys and girls being abducted for a stipulated amount of money that is exchanging hands. And there's this report that, according to a print media, that some of these bandits were once members of the dreaded Boko Haram sect. As a security expert, do you see any correlation between these bandits and ex-Boko Haram insurgents, the members?
Bandit is just the metamorphose from Boko Haram. We call them bandits. I think we should call them by the right name. The right name is terrorists.
Terrorists?
They should be called terrorists, not bandits. They emanated from Boko Haram. You see, when you allow a little baby snake to enter your house and you overlook it's a little snake, that snake one day will become a python that will terrorize everybody. When this thing started, it's like the government per se didn't take this issue very serious until it has gotten to this point. Nigeria has been besieged by these terrorist groups, and it's quite unfortunate. Now, when we say bandits, it's a group of persons, marauders, criminals, attacking citizens, getting their feet away. And because the government, I think, has not, the government overlooked this issue right from the beginning. They didn't handle it squarely right from the beginning, so it has metamorphosed, it has grown to this point. Now, they are even targeting soft targets, children, going to schools, adopting children. Is a terrible situation. And if you look at the history of adoptions in Nigeria, it started from Chibok in 2018, that should be April, where 276 girls were adopted. And it's like they were somehow playing politics over the whole issue. Chibok issue came, and even till today, we are still talking about Chibok issue. After Chibok issue, we have Dapchi, Chibok was 2014, Dapchi was 2018, where 110 girls were adopted. Even to today, we are still talking about the Dapchi issue on Leah Shiago. After that, when we went into the Kankara boys, over 300 boys were adopted in Castina, because Dapchi happens in Yobe, while Chibok happened in Borno State. We talk about the Kankara boys. Even when the president was at home at that particular time, these guys had the effrontery to enter the place and adopted these boys. After the Kankara, we have the Karaga, where about 48 students and staff members were adopted. Thank God they've returned. We're just trying to come out from this. We are the one in Zamfara, that is Jangebe, where 317 students, even till now, nothing has been heard about them. These children are in the forest with their captors. Only God knows what is happening to these children.
Now, the big question always is, why schools? Why are schools being targeted to the extent that some northern governors opted to shut down schools for the now?
I think the children, they are soft targets. When children are adopted, it will get the attention of international communities. And I think adopting students from schools is like war against education. Education is our bedrock. Any society, any country that we thrive must thrive on the foundation of education. When you remove education, what you see is darkness. So fighting against education is trying to bring darkness into a system. So we must look at it very, very well. And now, it's like much attention when it comes to security is not given to schools. Like what I used to say, before the resumption of school, the students were so sensitized on this coronavirus thing. They were taught how to wash their hands, how to wear masks, how to keep social distances and the rest. But unfortunately, these children are not, they don't have this orientation on security awareness. If the way we put energy, put resources to educate people on coronavirus, we put half of that resources to educate people on security, I bet you would have gone beyond where we are today.
Now you talk about put more effort on sensitizing schools on security. What can they do against an army of marauders? These are bandits armed to the teeth. How do you think they can defend themselves even if they are aware of it? That shutting down schools right now is the best bet by these governors, knowing fully well that some of them don't have the wherewithal to really protect every schools in their own vicinity.
Shutting down schools, is that the solution? Having shut down the school, what is the next step? I'm advocating that whether shutting or not shutting schools, security studies should be part of the curriculum. I keep on saying it. Go to Israel and see everybody is a police. When these children are raised, are being conscientized on how to be security conscious, even before the bandits invade the school, they didn't just come overnight. They must have done some kind of underground work. But when the people are security conscious, when you see a stranger in your environment and you are security conscious, you should be able to know something about the assignments and the mission of such persons. For bandits to enter into a community and carry 317 children, if you do analysis, if you take 18-seater bus, it means you are going to use 16 buses to enter into that community and carry those students. Before 18 buses or 16 buses will enter into a community without the awareness of anybody, you enter into a school and adopt 317. We are not talking about 17 guests. We are talking about 317, and nobody was aware. It means the people are not security conscious. It is high time that the government should begin to be more proactive in security education. The gun is not everything. The gun cannot do everything. It's like we focus more on security personnel. We focus more on the gun. But the gun can do everything. Knowledge is power. But the Bible even said that knowledge is stronger than weapons of war. If I have knowledge on security and you have knowledge on security, before anything happens, you should be able to know that this thing is going to happen and you'll be proactive enough to handle the situation. So these are the things we are looking at. Shutting the school, it may not just be the real solution, but educating the people, putting security on ground in schools. Since students are becoming soft target to this terrorist group, we should do more on securing the environment, securing the people, and educating them. Very, very important. Educating them on security issues. They should be taught the nitty-gritty of security awareness and security procedures.
All right, now they should be taught the security awareness and security procedures when you talk about security challenges. Now we have someone speaking, so to speak, on behalf of these bandits.
When you negotiate, money is involved. But when you dialogue, you come to terms in terms of reasoning. Because negotiating with terrorists is not the best way out. Because when you negotiate with them and money is involved, I haven't paid this ransom, you're already aiding them. You're already aiding them on how they can go ahead to do more. Because if one group is giving money as ransom to free the people they put under their captivity, other groups will also do the same thing, because when they do such thing, they will feel, well, since a group was giving money, so I could do the same thing and I'll be giving money. And when money is involved, you're only encouraging the whole picture. You are not discouraging it. So you only increase criminality if money is involved. So I don't advocate negotiating with bandits in terms of paying ransom.
Because right now some are saying that this ransom are what is really fearing the bandits. But some people are saying that without paying this ransom, you are there endangering the lives of these students.
Yes. People of different thought, they will come up that way. There's a school of thought that says when you negotiate and pay, you free the persons. Yes. But if you don't negotiate, you are endangering the lives of these people. So it's a two ways. But how long can we keep on negotiating? We negotiated yesterday, and today something happened. Who knows what is going to happen tomorrow? And this adoption is becoming a very lucrative business to these terrorists. So we should do everything possible to make sure that the whole thing is reduced and discouraged. And I want to say something here. Let us look at the area of our borders. I keep on saying our borders are so porous. These guys, they come to Nigeria to do whatever they are doing today because our borders are porous. People enter into this country at will with weapons. They make Nigeria look like a war zone. And it's like Nigerians are now under a tight corner. Look at the history of Italy. Italy was well built. When they finished building Italy, they now began to build Italians. After building Italy, they began to build Italians. But we have not even built, Nigeria have not been built. How much more to build Nigerians? So it is high time for us to look indoor. And first of all, because when you build a house, very beautiful house, and when you don't put the fence around the house, that house is porous. That house is exposed to danger. No matter what we do internally, if our borders are not taken care of, it's like turning water on top of a rock. It cannot be sustained. No matter the amount we involve, no matter the military strength, if our borders, let us look at our borders very, very well. I'm still pointing the arrow to our borders. The government should do more on taking care of our borders, because this is the problem we have. These guys, most of them are not Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. Where did they come from? They come through the borders. As they are coming, the borders too porous. More than 1,500 directions of our borders are not manned. Anybody can come into Nigeria and do whatever. If federal government should put more attention, spend more resources, and equip our border security officers, like the immigration. We don't even talk about the immigration personnel. They should be well equipped. The custom, Nigeria customs, they should be well equipped. And we talk about the NDLA. These are people in charge, even the police, the military. We should do more on protecting if our borders are protected very well, we can handle internal security without much stress. Because the more we keep on handling this issue within our country, and our borders the doors are open for these people to come in, they will come in their numbers. And somehow, they will, even if care is not taken, they may even outnumber even the security forces. And when the security forces are outnumbered, we are not talking about the police personnel, they are not even enough to police Nigeria. We have less than 400,000 police officers in Nigeria, policing a country of more than 200 million citizens. That is a suicide mission. And the police is underfunded. The police is not well equipped. We are talking about internal security. Even internal security, we are not even looking at state police and community policing. The police has been overwhelmed with this security saga today. Their hands are tied, their hands are up. So the federal government should do something very, very quickly in terms of protecting our borders. So I went to a country. As I entered the airport, they told all the Nigerians to go this way. I was watching. In Asia, what happened? They were screening the Nigerians on a special note. They were other persons from other countries, they were doing thumbprint on their system. Why they were using their system to thumbprint our eyes? Our eyes. They put the gadget on our eyes. Now, and I ask, why do you use the fingers of others as thumbprinting on their computer system? And we who are from Nigeria, you have to screen us in a special way. You know what the man said? He said, because you people are from Nigeria. You are Nigerians. We have to screen you very, very well. So embarrassing. Look at our news today. I said almost 90% of what we read in the news, or what we listen, of what we watch, is all about insecurity, insecurity, insecurity. It's giving us a bad picture in the international community. So the government should rise up, be more proactive, be more sincere, be more serious, and spend more, judiciously spend more on security issues.
All right, on one hand we have the Boko Haram, on the other hand we have the farmer settlers clash, and of course on this hand we have the bandits, kidnappers. Can you sense or perceive that maybe, just maybe, our security architecture is spread too thin? That is the reason why we're having all these challenges.
That is, they are not up to the task, that you are saying.
That because the numbers of security personnel that we have compared to the myriads of problems facing them, it's like it's overwhelming because of the numbers.
I just said our borders are so open. Whether the borders are intentionally open.
Hold on, but even if the borders are like well taken care of, how can we deal with the ones that are inside already?
If the borders are, as long as the borders are open, they come in their thousands. They outnumber our security personnel. The more you kill them, the more they keep on coming. We keep on hearing the military say they've killed so and so numbers of bandits, they've killed so numbers of terrorists. The more you kill them, the more they are coming. The reason is that our borders are open. Let us be sincere. Let us focus on that aspect very, very well. If our borders are well taken care of, the security personnel, they can manage, even the ones in the country, they can manage them very, very well. That is how I see it. Okay, now calling on governors.
Well, some northern user got so angry, saying that the school that was attacked right now is close to a military base, but still the military didn't respond on time. Some of them are calling for the resignation of the new service chiefs. They just, emerged as a service chief that they should resign. Is that not too quick on their own part to react in such a manner, calling for the resignation of the new service chiefs? Since they came in, we heard about Kagara, we heard also about
the one in Zamfara.
Yes, the one in Zamfara, Jengebe, and it's like it just goes on, saying that these guys are not capable of doing what they ought to do.
I think calling for their resignation is too early. They just started work. Let's give them some time and see how far they can handle this security issue. And I keep on saying that the military cannot handle security issue alone. Security issue is a combination of everybody. It's everybody's business. If we leave security matters for the military alone, they can't handle it. You and I, we should be stakeholders to security matters. And when it comes to intelligent gathering, I think that is where we can also put our momentum. When it comes to intelligent gathering, it's high time for us to begin to sensitize our communities on intelligent gathering. So the military it will be easier for them to handle this matter or this issue very well. Because when there are no intelligent gatherings, they just go into this kind of approach. It will be difficult for them to handle. So they should involve more on intelligent gathering in order to succeed in the fight against insecurity.
Some persons came out from their region, like Sunday Boho, saying enough is enough, giving vacation order and the rest. Some of the people that governors should take care of their own borders, that if each state's governor could just secure their own environment, talking about their state, it would be easier for insecurity, especially the activities of bandits, to be checked. How true is that?
I think it will be better. This issue should be decentralized from the top to the down.
To the bottom,
because for you to begin to control this issue from the top, because security has to do with it's a grassroots approach. We should address security from the grassroots. You can't be on top and be controlling. You can't be on top and be addressing security matter. Security matter cannot be taken care of from the top. It's a grassroots approach. And what about grassroots approach? We should look at from the local government, from the communities, from the state's environment. Each governor should have the power to control security in his own state. Even the local government chairmen, they can address security from their own environment. So that this issue of security being addressed from Abuja, addressed from Aso Rock, we should bring it down to the grassroots so that we can understand how to manage it very, very well. If the governors are given this power to manage security fully in their own state, to an extent, we will see this whole thing drastically coming down.
What about arming of Nigerian citizens? Someone made that suggestion that, look, since it has gotten to this extent, let there be a kind of a law encouraging citizens of age to be armed, to be given license to carry at least light weapons. If they come out and must be able to at least secure their vicinity. They can just start from the streets, then to the towns, villages, local government, each house, each person get armed. How do you feel about that?
I think when it comes to harm,
yes,
let's arm our minds. That is the first most powerful weapon we can think of. When the mind is harmed, physical harm can be secondary. Because when you give a man physical harm and the mind is not harmed, he will use that physical harm to even commit havoc. Let's educate our minds on security issue when that is done. Because tension is very high now. Little thing can trigger somebody and you see carry bottle, break bottle and just stab his neighbor. But if that guy is giving little provocation, he can use that harm to do anything.
So saying arming individual now is not the best bet.
What I'm saying here is, let's first of all arm the mind. The area things are going presently, it is not bad to license harm. But before that should be done, people should be well trained. In some like in Europe, there are some countries in Europe, people they freely carry arm. You don't just go to the market and buy arm, begin to use arm. You'll be educated, you'll be trained, and you'll be licensed to carry arm. So that education, the training, and the licensing, we should look at these factors very, very well. It's not about licensing harm, giving people harm to handle. Before you know, they will mismanage it.
All right.
First of all, they should be trained, they should be licensed, and they should be given harm.
Talking about training, how can they be trained knowing fully well that the population of Nigeria is over 200 million?
That's why I talk about, let's start from the beginning. Let's put security study in our curriculum. Somebody says some states have started it. Let them start it well. It's a kind of holistic program. It's not just for one state. It should be a federal government concept. It will go down even to the child that is growing. Because when that is done, issue of harm will not be a problem. It will not be a problem. But the issue where some set of people are harmed, and it's like they are licensed to carry guns. That's why you see this agitation of let's arm everybody. Because the time you are harmed, I am harmed. You be careful with me, I'll be careful with you. But if I carry harm, I discover you are not harmed. I can threaten you, I can do you anything. But I think the government should address that issue of, if harm is prohibited, it should not be for certain persons. It should be for everybody. Everybody. If you are going to license harm, it's not going to be for certain persons. It should be for people who are educated, who are trained, and who are fit to carry the harm.
After the abduction of these Zamfara girls, the federal government on the print media says that will be the last of its kind in Nigeria. Would you want to take the federal government
the question
on this?
That statement,
because this will be the last. It's not going to happen again. I mean, how do you feel about this statement?
What are the structures they put on ground for that statement to be authentic? That is it's one thing to say it. Government have been saying too many things when it comes to security. A place where people are killed, Government will come there and tell us that normalcy has been restored and human beings are killed. And they are telling us that this is going to be the last adoption. The question is that you are not talking to barbarians. You are talking to enlightened people. This is not the first time for the government to come up to promise us that even the issue of Boko Haram, terrorists, they are succeeding. When they know that they are not succeeding, and you are coming to tell us that this is going to be the last, what structure, what system have you put on ground to assure Nigerians that this is going to be the last adoption Nigeria will experience? There are no structures, there are no system to vindicate that statement.
Okay, though some persons are skeptical about Gumi being the mouthpiece, so to speak, right now of these bandits, but from one of his comments, he said he alleged that some security agents know the whereabouts of these bandits. If his words are what we want to go by, what do you think is preventing them from being flushed out?
I think Nigeria military, with what they have, they are so good to go when it comes to addressing this terrorist issue. There must be willpower. When there is no will, there's no way. If these people are given 100% playground to fight terrorism, it will not take more than 1 month for this issue of terrorism to be over. As we are speaking, Nigeria is the 3rd terrorist country in the world. We have been attacked when it comes to terrorism. We are now number 3 in the world. Just imagine. So when we are talking about terrorism, outside the shores of this country, your mind go to Nigeria. If Nigerians go outside the shores of the country, people look at them as people who are terrorists. They classify them as terrorists, which is a bad image to us. If the military, if they don't have anything to hide, if the federal government have nothing to hide, let us be sincere. If those who are managing security don't have anything to hide, and they put all their resources. Look at the other day, there was an election. More than 30,000 security personnel were sent to a state to manage just one-day election, and the whole thing was peaceful. We have competent military personnel in this country that can manage this problem. If you go and meet these soldiers one-on-one and talk with them one-on-one, they will tell you that it is not beyond their power. But somehow, left or right, it's like there's no willpower. Because these guys that are coming from the other side, they are not as trained as our military personnel. We have one of the best military personnel in as long as Africa is concerned. Why is this thing still pending? Why are we talking about security issue every day, and it's like the more we talk it, the more we see this thing expanding. I see there's no government in the system. Government has everything it takes to finish terrorism within 1 week. With what they have. They have the personnel, they have the funding, they have the equipment, they have the ammunition. If they can put all these things together, terrorism issue, my brother, 1 month is too far to make it history. 1 month is too far. If the government should be very much sincere in handling security matter, we are talking about the lives of Nigerians. We have come to a point whereby even lives does not have value in this country. There's some, I don't want to mention names. There's some country you go, if one person die, they will do research on why that person, what killed that person. They will involve so many persons to do a research of that death and come up with facts. But today, we are living in a country where you hear in the morning that 100 people died last night. It's no longer a news. Life is no longer sacrosanct to the people that are leading us. When you are in a system where life has no value, this is what happens. When life means nothing, people die like whatever, and nobody is concerned, nobody feels it. Look at your news this morning. How many persons bandits killed? Look at our children in the bush right now as we are talking. 317 young girls in the bush. Know what they are going through. Only God knows what those girls are passing through right now. Look at those boys that came from the other side yesterday. How they were talking about their ordeals. They live without food, without water. They were brutalized. It was only God that saved them. How much more these girls? And you are coming to tell us that this is going to be the last adoption. I want to talk to Nigerian leaders. Please, I beg you. Let us see life. One life of a Nigeria is very sacrosanct. If one person dies, the government should stand still for that one person. There's no longer 1 minute silence again, because the 1 minute silence is too much that people are not seeing the value again. Before, when one person died, they say, let's observe 1 minute silence for this person. But how long shall we be observing 1 minute silence? Even it is becoming too much. Because the government, like it is really the government should be very, very sincere in handling security. If you go to our embassy, you look at our young boys, young girls, the youth, they are just wishing to leave this country. So somebody told me that it better go through this hard way through Libya. It's better to go through Libya than to stay in this country. You see the way our young people, our talented people, the way they are living this country on daily basis, going to look for greener pasture. Look at it a few days ago when these terrorists attacked a community in Ogun State. The ones that survived, they ran to another country. And right now, when they brought palliative for them, they keep on saying that we are okay with where we are. If Nigerians can be saying that they are okay with where they are than coming back to their village, you know the whole thing is becoming something terrible.
All right, thank you. Well, you've spoken at length. You spoke about what people are saying, that they prefer to leave because of what they are saying. But we believe that eventually things will get better, and the federal government are doing everything possible to make sure that that abduction will definitely be the last abduction. People remaining in the country are going to work it out, because life also still have value. Even in Nigeria, the silent militancy talked about, it is still being respected. They value life in Nigeria. That's why everyone said, look, that is going to be the last, and they're doing the best possible to make sure that those girls are released. Thank you.
I want to say something very
brief. Yes, briefly, yes. Summarize, briefly.
We still have hope. All hope is not gone. This security issue very soon will become a thing of the past. Let's all come together, join the federal government, join the military, because security is everybody's responsibility. We believe that one day this security issue will become a thing of the past.
Thank you so much, Sheriff Azeke. I appreciate your wonderful analysis. He is a security expert. I appreciate your analysis. Well, his comments are his own comment. It has nothing to do with ITV. He follows rules and relations governing the airways. It's all about security situation in Nigeria. Nigeria versus bandits. That is what has been going on for quite a while now. Nigeria also versus Boko Haram. Nigeria. God definitely will help us. Let's get to hear from our next analyst, his own views and opinions. Don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned.